folks. Thanks for joining me today. Now, this is a little stone that I had that was extremely bumpy, very, very pitted. So, what I did was I gave it a coat of resin and I let that dry. So now I have a nice smooth surface to paint on. I loved the color of the rock once it was resined, and I really didn't want to hide a lot of that. So, this rock is going to have a hole in it, and that's what we're painting right now. So I just used some DecoArt black paint, and I just went for it. And I just drew some straight lines on, or I painted the lines on, and made sure that they connected all at like sharp angles, I guess. I can't think of the proper name of it right now, but basically you want them to be like really sharp, or like corners in all of the opening, because rocks don't break with nice curved edges. When they break, they have these really sharp edges, and because a chunk has come out of it. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So I painted it all with a paintbrush, and now I'm going in with my blending brush and another coat of black paint, so I get a nice even coat onto the stone, and I just put it on everywhere and let it dry. The reason why I'm doing two coats is because, well, first of all, I use a brush, so there's brush strokes left in it. But for the second reason is the next coat that I'm going to be putting on there is a different type of paint. Now, I've used it a few times. This particular color that I have, and I will be showing you it. It is by FolkArt. It is called Aqua Flash Metallic Color Shift. And I got this in the bargain bins at Michael's. So whenever you go to Michael's, check out those bargain bins, because you never know what you're going to find. And I have gotten a lot of really neat paint that I probably wouldn't pay full price for, and probably wouldn't even experimented with if it weren't in the bargain bins. There it is. So it's an Aqua Flash. I've never used this color before. I have used the color shift paint before, but not this color. So I was so impressed with it. So you put it on your paintbrush and it looks like it's aqua, or like a teal color. Then you paint it on and it has different colors of like purples and blues in it. And as I turn the rock and the light shines on it at different angles, you can see the differences in the colors. And wow, I was just so amazed with this color. I think I'm going to use it more, especially in some of my water scenes that I do. It would be good maybe to try out for the Northern Lights. I've got so many ideas going through my head right now to use this paint. This paint is really, really cool. So I apply this on, going as close to the edge as I can without going over the black, because I don't want this to interfere with the outline. I can make the outline a little bit bigger, but I actually like the shape, and I want to put on some cracks a little bit later. So I kind of want to keep it as inside the rock as I can. So this makes it show like it's an illusion that once the rock was broken open, there's this beautiful gem inside that's glowing and shifting color as it the light hits it and moves around. It's really, really pretty. So I put on a second coat because I noticed as it was drying that I just put it on with my brush strokes going every which way. And you could tell. You could really, really tell. So I'm putting on a second coat, and all my brush strokes are going in the same direction. So this way, you still get, oops, I don't know if you heard that, but my dog just sneezed. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted all the brush strokes to be going the same way. So that's why I put on the second coat. And while that's drying, I'm going to sharpen up those edges to make those corners really, really sharp. and at, I guess, right angles is the right word to describe it. Um, but I do definitely want them to be really sharp and really stand out so that it's jagged, I guess. So you just saw me wipe off paint. So the really cool thing about resining your rock first is if you make a mistake while the paint is wet, you just wipe it off. And it's, it's a very easy cleanup. And then you can repaint on top. If this was just the rock itself, I would have to deal with it and try to figure out how to make it work with the design of the rock, because I wouldn't have that barrier layer that would allow me to do that. So it's another benefit of resining your rocks beforehand, as well as you get to see the color of what it looks like once it's resined. I know that I have told you about another trick that you can do is you just put a little bit of water on it, and the water will tell you how dark or light your stone will be. But this is another way that you could do it, and then what kind of a design you want to put on it. I sometimes mix up too much resin, and I always have stones sort of sitting in the sidelines there waiting to be used. And if I've resined or I've made too much resin, I will resin those rocks. And those rocks are usually the ones that are really pitted, or they've got maybe some holes in them that I want to fill up because I know the paint won't, and it would just, suck it up or whatever. So I do pre-resin some of my rocks, and then when inspiration strikes me, I do a design on them. And then it's just a quick coat of resin on top, and it's finished. So it's another good way to use up any of your leftover resin, or if you've mixed up too much. It's always good to have those little extras sitting on the sidelines waiting. You can also use your leftover resins if you have any molds to make little small medallions or keychains or shapes. I've got a couple of them that I use as well. And it's just, waste not, want not. So I don't like to waste anything. I use my leftover paints for my pocket hugs, which I have a couple of tutorials on if you want to see those. They are in my playlists. No, sorry, they're not in my playlists. They are in my regular library. But I do have playlists. So if you're interested in themed things, I have them all in a playlist. So my Soul Symbol Rocks, which are ones that I did like 3 years ago, they are for your birth month. Has nothing to do with astrology. It has everything to do with your spiritual side and your soul symbol. So I invite you to go and check out that playlist because all 12 of them are in there. I do have some mini playlists as well for some of my mini series that I've done, and I keep adding to them. So definitely check out my playlists as well. They're there for you to view, like videos. So they're of the same theme so that you can just keep watching and keep watching and keep watching. So, and if you like that, let me know in the comments, and let me know if you've actually gone and watched any of my playlists. I'd be interested to know. I don't get a lot of stats on my playlists. Well, I guess I do, but I just don't pay attention to it. I'll be honest. I do pay attention to a lot of my other stats, which are really cool to watch and see as my channel grows. So let me know in the comments if you check out any of my playlists. So this was a little fun idea that I came up with sort of throughout my design here. Some of my cracks that I painted on there got a little bit thick. So instead of trying to clean them up, I decided that I would make these like little holes where that color shift color is going to shine through on those little holes. So those cracks that started, maybe a small little chunk came out and is revealing more of that beautiful gem that's hiding inside the rock. So I put these little dots, I guess, or things on there. I wish I had have done more of them because they turned out so beautifully and really worked well with the rock. But I didn't, and this is what I ended up with. But that's okay. You just trust the process and you go with whatever is inspiring you, and you just follow the flow of your inspiration. And that's exactly what I did with this stone. So I'm using some white to give some highlights to show maybe some raised areas. So that's where the light is catching onto the rock before it gets into the gem or the message that's hiding inside this rock. And it also helps with giving it a 3D look by putting some highlights on top of it. And I made some of the lines on the outside of the cracks and outside of the hole. I've made them a little bit thicker as well so that I can put this little white line on there to give that illusion that it is raised up. And these little cracks are showing that there's something hidden inside. So that's what I'm doing now, just picking certain ones that I want to highlight and giving them all that little extra raise. So if you like this video and you like this technique, just give me a thumbs up. It's the quickest and fastest, easiest way for you to let me know. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave. And if you don't want to miss any of my new content, make sure you ring the notification bell. I try very hard to bring new content to you at least once a week. I saved this one. I was going to post it on Friday, which I normally post on Fridays, but since it was Father's Day weekend, I thought I would save it for today. So that way I could wish everybody a happy Father's Day. A father can be anyone who shows guidance, shows support, anything in that lines, but in a masculine way. I was lucky enough to have two dads. So I had my real dad, my biological father, and I had my stepdad. And he was a dad that he didn't have to be. And that's why I admire him so much, because he took us on as children and grew up with us, even though he didn't have to. And that's what made him so cool. He has since passed away, but his memory is still very much alive. And my biological father is still with me. So I still have him as well. And both of them played big parts in my life growing up and taught me things that I needed to know. As, you know, for example, my stepdad taught me how to catch dew worms so you could catch the bigger fish. It's funny, but he did. He taught me that. He taught me how to fish. My biological father taught me how to change oil in my snowblower. Yes, because I live in Northern Ontario, I have a snowblower. So both of them taught me things that I needed to know that maybe a mom couldn't teach me. I'm not saying that moms can't teach those things. I'm just saying I learned from my dads. So in my world, my dads rock. And I hope your dad rocks as well. And that's why I painted this rock to say, Dad, you rock. So I I'm sketching it on with my paintbrush. I didn't use any pencil marks or anything like that to draw this on. I, I'm winging it. I'm going with inspiration. I'm not using anything as a guide. I'm just doing it. And it's truly from the heart. And so I make these letters and then I thicken them up. And then I've got to give them highlights as well. So I go in again with my white paint and I put in some highlights on these letters. And I didn't want the letters to be perfect because this is, it's a rock. So I wanted them to be sort of like off center and not quite, well, not perfect script, if you will. I wanted this to be really rugged and but fun at the same time. And I think I captured that, and I'm really, really happy with it. And I don't know if you've been noticing as I've been turning the rock and I've been painting it, how that background totally changes by the light when it hits it. I'm going to be using this paint more often. I really, really like it. I was very impressed with it. And again, found it in the bargain bin. 50 cents Canadian is what I paid for it. So I can't go wrong with that. So always remember to check out those bargain bins. So yeah, this is my Father's Day rock, and I am extremely happy on how it turned out. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. All of that good stuff. And just thanks for being here with me. I'm sorry I didn't post on my regular Friday, but I'm glad you stuck around for Sunday to see this. So I'm just adding in the little bit of some of that white to give it highlights. Now I did make some of them a little bit thick, so I did go in and thin them out with some more black paint, which is the really cool thing you can do. With acrylic paint, you can just go in and fix up your highlights and clean it all up. But I really liked how it turned out. So let me know what you think. Just a reminder, I will be having the Flower of the Month tutorial out in the next few days. So keep an eye out for that. I also have a couple of other tutorials that I have finished that were really fun for me to do, and I can't wait to share with you. So watch out for those as well. And if you have any ideas that you want to see me paint, throw them into that comment box down below. And that brings us to the end of this. So remember, folks, life is what you make it. So get creative.